Welcome to All Bodies on Bikes, the podcast, where all bodies are good bodies, all bikes are good bikes, and all rides are celebrated.
All Bodies on Bikes is a movement to create and foster a radically inclusive bike community. So join your hosts, I'm Ellen,
And I'm Marley.
as we explore the complexities of the biking world. Help us break down barriers and create the world that we want to see.
And don't forget that all bodies really means all bodies, not just larger bodies, but bodies of all sizes,
Ages,
races,
abilities,
genders,
sexualities.
and beyond. Come along for the ride.
There, we're recording. We remembered how.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh my god. It's been a summer.
It has been such a summer.
I made a whole list of my joys of summer, my lows of summer, some of my
love it.
favorite rides, and then I just wrote film, double exclamation mark.
That's, I think, what we need to do. That's the list, is let's talk bikes,
Yeah.
and then let's talk film. Didn't I send you like a big old list too? No, that's just for a normal chat.
Oh, I was like, oh, I
Wait,
don't think
this
so.
is what it is. We have an actual document. That's what I don't have pulled up.
Oh, but I don't think I actually put anything in the document.
Oh, okay. You're just keeping shit in your head.
Well, that's why I wrote down. I wrote it. I physically wrote it down. I did some.
I love it.
Some brainstorming.
It means it'll be fresh. Whatever you hear come out of my mouth will be live,
Yes.
unfiltered.
Did you listen to Maintenance Phase yet?
No. I started to. The one episode or any of it?
Any of it?
No.
You need to.
I am, what I've realized, I'm really a big fan of Yap in My Trap on my own podcasts, but I don't actually listen to podcasts.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of the same way, to be honest. I listen to a lot of like investigative journalism and like deep reporting, but I don't listen to people yap on podcasts, which is what I like doing. So
Fair enough.
maybe our
What
listeners-
made you think of Maintenance Phase though?
because at the beginning of each episode they introduce themselves, and I think that's something we should do.
Okay.
Yeah, even though I guess I don't remember if we do it in the intro or not, but I think it would be good for us to get in the habit of introducing ourselves.
We might do it in the intro. I think we just say I'm Marley and I'm Ellen.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but now people who are listening for sure won't know who I am.
Yeah. So I'm Marley Blonsky. I am the co-founder and executive director of All Bodies on Bikes.
And I'm Ellen Schwartz. I'm the co-host of the podcast and producer of the podcast and general enthusiast for bicycles.
Yeah. And we are coming at you with an end of summer episode of All Bodies on Bikes.
Hooray.
And you might be thinking, end of summer? You didn't do any episodes during the summer. And you are correct.
Yeah.
we were busy living life.
Right. Part of our intro should have been, we are two normal humans who have day jobs.
Are we normal though? I'm definitely not normal.
We're two
awesome.
We're two awesome.
Almost 40 somethings. Are you almost 40?
Yeah, remember we're like almost exactly the same age.
Oh yeah. Who are really busy living life and not actually doing the things that they're supposed to be doing.
We're two Geminis who like long walks on the beach.
I actually don't.
Made our summers all about that. Oh boy, I do.
I like long bike rides, but right now walking hurts my body so much. My knee is still giving me trouble.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I know. It's really hindering my life right now.
That makes sense. Is it okay on the bike though?
Yeah, it's okay. But as soon as I start trying to like push it or like go uphill, it's really problematic. And my doctor doesn't seem to believe me that it actually hurts. He's like, well, if you can ride unbound, you don't need a knee replacement. And I'm like, I did it in pain the whole time.
Right.
So
is this the one? So wait, this is the knee that has not been replaced, or you've only had surgery?
I've only had surgery on my meniscus twice. I haven't had a knee replacement, but that's what I'm going for.
I see. That's wildly frustrating that they're just sitting there saying, well, you did it, so no, you don't.
Exactly. Yeah. So they said I need to wait like 10 more years. And I'm like, but my quality of life now is not where I want it to be.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Why do they think there needs to be an age limit?
Because apparently when you go bionic, the parts only last for a certain amount of time, which makes sense. But and like they know that like if I did one now, I'd need one again in 10 to 20 years. But I'm going to, if I do it now or in 10 years, like just let me live the life I want to live right now. Well, I've got the energy and the money and the time, and
So, are they banking on if they give you a knee replacement when you're closer to 50, maybe you'll just be dead by the time you're 70?
I think so.
Jesus,
I know it's really messed up.
that's very messed up.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
I'm hopeful that maybe I can find a new healthcare provider in Oregon.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
spoiler alert, I'm moving out of Arkansas. Yeah,
I'm so excited for you.
me too.
You look
I kind of made the decision randomly this summer.
This is yeah, and maybe I'll just be the voice of the audience because I feel like the last time you and I chatted, you were like, "I'm leaning into Bentonville. I love the people here. I'm gonna make it work."
And that is true. And
Okay.
then I went on this epic road trip over the summer, which longtime fans will know I tend to do that in the summer. I like to go on like a 6 week trip and just get out of Arkansas because it's so hot. And this summer,
Mhm.
I found myself spending a lot of time in Portland and the surrounding areas and really just felt at home here and kind of developed a little group of friends and a community. And when it was time to
Awesome.
leave, I realized I don't want to leave. I don't want to go back to Bentonville. I don't want to go back to Arkansas. And it's
Yeah,
like I could have continued to make life work in Arkansas. I had really
sure.
started to develop some good friendships, some deep community there, but it would have been making it work. I wouldn't have been happy. It's just it's not my place at the end of the day, which sucks. But I feel I'm proud of myself. I took the risk 3 years ago and I tried it and I really had a good time sometimes and had a bad time sometimes.
Sure.
But I've been in Portland now, so fast forward, basically, I my road trip was over. I went back to Arkansas, was kind of living life, having a good time, and then Daisy May died, which was definitely the low point of my summer. I know,
Looking
R.I.P.
out for Daisy May.
I know, but she lived such a good life. She was
Did.
16, maybe. We don't really know how old she was.
Yeah.
And so once she was gone, there was really nothing tethering me down to Bentonville anymore. And kind of around the same time, I had a good friend, a new friend, but a good friend up here in Portland. Her wife was hit by a car while riding her
Mm,
bike,
mm,
and really bad. She's still in the hospital. It's not a good situation. But basically, they own a shop called The Athletic, which is primarily a sock shop, but they have like other athletic type things there. And Jess was running the store every day, and now she's in the hospital, and
oh
so
my
she can't
gosh.
exactly run the shop. And so their community really stepped up in like the week or two after the crash and was like, they had volunteers coming in, but you can't run a business with all volunteers. And so
Right.
I was talking to Vanessa, Jess's wife, and was like, "Hey, would it be helpful if I came up there and just kind of ran things for a month while you figure out what's the long term strategy?" And she was like, "Absolutely." So that's where I've been. I've been up here for the last 3 weeks now, bike commuting every day, kind
I
of
know.
like pretending like I already live in Portland. But I have to go back and get all my stuff still.
Do you? Or do you just say, like,
C'est la
let it
vie.
go? That's right.
I mean, I am very, very tempted, but all my bikes are there except one. My car is there. My bed that I really like is there. So I'll go back and get all that stuff. Plus, there's a couple events that I just need to like wrap up that chapter, say goodbye to people. I'd like to leave on a high note instead of
Some
just like
closure.
skipping town right away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That that is nice. I will agree with that. The temptation to just burn it all down
it's
feels
real.
very real when you start to move. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
you will be glad to have your stuff
I
ultimately.
think so. And I'll be happy to like really I don't want to say close out those relationships because I hope that a lot of them will
Sure.
continue, but at least like put a nice little bow on it, give people some good hugs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds great, and congratulations on kind of some finality, I think, in this piece of your life.
Thank
Because
you.
I think you were gonna struggle with it no matter what.
I think so too. And I don't know how much I want to get into this on the show, but it became especially evident these last couple months as there was this huge mural debacle happening
Mhm.
in Bentonville. Did you keep up to date on any of that?
Kept loose ties on it. I know enough people with ties to Bentonville who were posting about it, and it sounded like I mean, it's kind of a good example of when bikes and politics cannot be, um,
Separated?
separated. I was
Yeah.
going to say unintertwined,
Yeah.
but yes, separated. Yeah.
Yeah, so for folks who aren't in the know, you should go look it up. But the too long didn't read version of it, there was a rad nonprofit. There is called All Bikes Welcome that does programming primarily for Black, Indigenous, people of color, gender nonconforming folks, for a marginalized community. And they painted this beautiful mural that said they and a local artist painted this mural that said all bikers welcome. And then we started hearing rumblings of complaints to city council, and
Mhm.
it turned into this whole debacle over a couple of colors that somebody claimed looked like the transgender flag. Which facts are facts. It was not the transgender flag. The colors might have been reminiscent of it, but it definitely wasn't. It finally ended up in front of the city council where the bigots who didn't want this had to say the quiet part out loud, and then they hid behind another argument about advertising.
Mhm.
But the reason I bring all this up is because it really showed me who in Bentonville, in this like most welcoming bike place ever, is truly fighting the good fight. I mean, there was
Yeah.
definitely a lot of folks from the community who came out and stood up for this nonprofit and like made their voices heard, but there were a lot of voices that were conspicuously silent.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm glad to get out of there. I'm happy to be going to a place where like a bus passed me yesterday that was like decked out in the pride colors, including the trans flag. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just happy to go to a place that it's like doesn't have their panties in a wedgie over colors of a flag.
Yeah, it's hard to stay and fight the fight when the fight is very exhausting. I go back and forth on this a lot too. There's just fight after what feels like stupid fight to me because it's obvious what the right things are.
Yeah,
And so it's a back and forth in your head of do you stay here and try to make this place better, which is stressing you out, or are you better off somewhere that you can have better mental health and therefore do different things in a different way, like support
exactly.
everyone in
And
another way?
that's not
Yeah.
to say that Portland is perfect. I've been here
Sure.
3 weeks and I've already seen some things and gotten involved and learning what is going on, but they're fighting bigger fights here.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
Walmart doesn't have a chokehold on the local
Yep.
economy. People aren't afraid to speak up because they're afraid that they'll piss off Uncle Tom and Uncle Stu. I guess my
Yeah.
gloves are off and I'm willing to talk really openly and honestly about Bentonville, but that can be a whole nother episode.
Let's do that in a completely different episode,
Yes.
because I think it is worth talking about. We can rip the top off of that can of worms for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. And we should do some research on that before I just like go spouting off my opinions.
But,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bikes were a big part of my summer. I don't know about you. How were bikes a big part of your summer?
They were less of a part of my summer than I felt like they had been in the past. Like, I went on this trip to Europe a bit last minute, and I think I wound up being in a car more than I had been, like, almost the entire time I lived there,
Oh,
which was
interesting.
I thought so too, and it wasn't because we were in places that didn't have transit or didn't have cycling, it was just, like, the things we chose to do required a car, and by the time I got to our final stop was in Malmo, Sweden. By the time we got there and we borrowed a friend of a friend's cargo bike, um, to just bike around and tootle around, I was like, "This is perfect."
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sitting there like, why don't we move here?" But I think in contrast to your move, it's a bit of grass is greener. It's a bit of, like, trading one thing for another.
Right, right, right. Well, I went to Europe this summer and also thought many times, why don't I just move here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It it's so tempting.
Yeah. Although it's funny because in the spots that I was in, they were not necessarily meccas of cycling. And I need to be like totally full disclosure here. I went on a paid trip, as in they paid me to go
Yeah.
with EF Adventures. We went to the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. And so we spent 4 days in Provence, which you cannot say Provence without sounding hoity toity. So we spent 4 days riding bikes in Provence. And then we spent 4 days, maybe it was five, I don't know, riding bikes in the French Alps. And
Ooh,
following behind the Tour de France Femmes, which
nice.
was so incredibly cool. And it really opened up a whole new world of road biking to me. I'm not,
Really?
yeah, it made me realize why people like road biking so much because we were on these
Oh.
like epic climbs. Like I did Mount Ventoux, which is like a
Mhm.
historic climb. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I understand why people do this now because it really was that special and that beautiful. And honestly, the day that we climbed Mount Ventoux was probably my favorite day ever on a bicycle that I've ever had.
That's saying something.
Yeah, yeah, and it wasn't
Wow.
so we climbed up Ventoux, which was a 15-mile climb, about 7,000 feet of elevation. I was on an e-bike, which helped immensely. I don't think I
Sure.
would have said it's my favorite day on a bike if I didn't have that e-bike. But
Yeah.
once we came down, we went down the backside of Ventoux, to this place called Salt, and then another place called Gorge. I think, or Gore. I always get it wrong. Anyway, like, have you ever seen the like photos or paintings of Provence with just like the fields of lavender as far as the eye can see?
Yes.
That's where we were at.
Oh,
It was so magical, and it was like a 20-mile descent, I think.
oh my
Um,
gosh.
it was which was good because I was trying to save battery. After climbing Ventoux, I had like
Sure.
8% battery, and it was funny. I was like, should I get in the car? Because there was always a support man with us, and I was like, should I get in the car? Should I ride?
Mhm.
My period started that day, and I was
Great.
like, no, I'm gonna ride, and then if I run out of battery, I'll just hop in the car. Well, at the very end of that day, it was like a 60-mile day. The last 5 miles were uphill again, and my battery died. And I was like so pissy because I was like, if my battery's dead, I want to be in the van. This bike is heavy. It's hot. I'm
Yes.
on my period. And so I just like got into this really negative headspace. And then as I was climbing up this hill, I look up and there's like this, it looked like a fortress wall with grapes coming down over the side. And I was like, Marley, get your head out of your ass. You're in France riding your bicycle. Like, so what if your battery died? Like, enjoy it. And by the time I got up to the top of the hill, I was just like so happy and was in a completely different headspace.
Oh,
And just like
good job.
I actually had conversations with my body. I was like just like saying thank you out loud, and like I like got to a point where I like apologized for all the years when I had like treated my body like crap, and just like thank you
Whoa.
for letting me continue to do this thing. But I don't know. Long story short, I got into a really good place in my head
Yeah.
and was just really grateful that my body lets me do these cool things.
I mean, it is
Thanks.
you've done a lot of mental training to get yourself there, but I love that you were able to turn it around even in the moment. Because,
Yeah.
like, in the moment is, like, it's what you've been training for, right?
Exactly, and that's what I was excited about, and, like, when I was in that kinda negative headspace, I hate being in a negative headspace, like, even in
Sure.
my day-to-day life, but, sometimes it's necessary, but it would have been such a waste to be on this, like, trip of a lifetime and
Yes.
be like, "Ah, I'm so angry the van isn't here." Like, "No, ride your bike, this is
Yes.
stunning."
I like that the grapes were the thing.
Yeah, they just appeared, and then I ate a bunch, and they were really
You
good.
did?
Oh, yeah, I probably
Oh my
wasn't
god.
supposed to, but I totally did.
That's amazing.
And
That
then it
makes
was
it the most Marley story I think that could have happened
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
and then
world.
we got to the top and there was, like, a little village, and of course, I was the last one up, like, there was a theme of the trip, like, even though a lot of us were on e-bikes, there were a couple folks on the trip that weren't on e-bikes, and regardless, I was always the last one, and I think I figured out, like, I have the capacity to ride at the pace everybody else does, I just
Uh-huh.
don't want to. Like,
Sure.
I really like going slow.
I love that.
So, anyway, I make it up to the top, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, yay, you did it!" I was like, "Did you guys see the grapes?" And then everybody was just like, "No, that was the hardest hill of my life. I just put my head down." I was like, "You got to lift your head up because that's where the grapes are at."
That's right. What a metaphor. Nice work.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it
Sometimes
was, man.
taking it slow means you see the grapes.
Yes, and actually, what's funny is we were in, I think it wasn't Avignon, it was Saint Remy de Provence, one of the other fancy places. We were
Yes,
there and we had a tour guide who was telling us about, the connection to Van Gogh and, oh, this is a church steeple that's in Starry Night. It was really, really cool.
that is cool.
But she was saying in the south of France is a saying that's like slowly in the morning and not too quickly in the afternoon. And I was like, that is a perfect metaphor for my life.
I like that very much.
Yeah.
Just kind of it reframes everything. It lets you go at the right pace for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Besides Europe, what did you get up to?
Well, that's a great question. I had a very normal, like, Midwestern summer. I was running family bike ride here in
Ooh,
Kansas City. And then yeah, just got back from a protest like you do in the year of our Lord 2025
in America.
in America.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good.
I got to go on a bike bus the other day. Actually, I got to go on 2 bike buses in the same day.
Ooh.
Yeah, one was the elementary school where, we
Oh,
started at one point and then went on a designated route, and people
yep.
joined throughout. It was so cute. There was probably 100 kids on this bike bus. It was huge. It
That's
was
amazing. Was
Yeah,
it like the famous one, the Coach
yes.
Balto one?
I was on
You
the
went? I'm sorry.
I went on the Coach Balto bike ride, and I did not make any content about it because I felt weird filming
And
children that aren't mine.
neither did he, right? Like, I feel like I would have seen if he was tagging you in these
He did
things.
tag me in one, but I don't know, it was kind of a weird morning. I do have some GoPro footage. I'm gonna try and make something about it, but I still just feel weird having children that I don't know in my content.
That's fair. Yeah, I probably asked for consent first,
Yeah,
but
so
I love that,
Yeah.
mainly because one of the things that I am going to be doing in this fall is helping schools plan their own bike buses because
Cool.
it's something that can happen in a lot of these neighborhood schools. You just kinda need someone who wants to do it and knows how to plan that route.
Yeah.
But I had gone to a coffee shop where I was gonna do a different event for the family ride there, and I kind of was explaining what I do, and one of the, like, college age baristas was just like, "Oh, like that bike bus on TikTok." And I was like, "Holy cow,
Yeah.
Coach Balto's made it big enough that this young person who's not really into cycling behind this coffee bar is just excited about it,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't her thing,
Yeah.
right?" Like,
Yeah. I mean, the
so
thing that blew me away about Coach Balto's bike bus was the
yeah.
simplicity of it. He had the leaders wearing bright yellow ponchos from,
Mhm.
Cleverhood, which you can get those
Okay.
on the Cleverhood website. You can also get All Bodies on Bikes branded Cleverhoods, and we get a portion of those proceeds.
Ew.
Anyway, not the point. So he's got people in bright yellow ponchos who are like the ride leaders, and then he has a bunch of parents. He encourages the parents to come if they can to help with like ride marshaling, and
Mm.
basically just riding on the outside of the group. And essentially, they have adults cork traffic. They serve as
Uh-huh.
corkers, and the ride just goes. Like there wasn't a big announcement at the beginning. He
Yeah.
did have music. He did have all the kiddos because it was like the first one of the year. He did like when I say bike, you say bus, and it was really cute. Like bike,
Aw.
bus, bike. It was very very cute. But I feel like so many of these bike rides that we go on as adults are overcomplicated.
Yeah.
And we spend so much time at the beginning talking. And this one, he was like, okay, we're going to school.
Sure.
And he was like, adults, don't let any cars in the group, try and stick together as a group. Everybody's shoes are tied. Okay, here we go. I
Yep.
was like, oh, this is remarkably simple. Like,
Yeah. There's definitely a keep it simple aspect of all of this stuff. He's been doing that for at least a couple years now,
mhm,
and so I think I'm hopeful that it's for him, it's like, this is his group, and there's, like, kind of like we talked about on group rides, it's a bit of like a buddy system, right? If someone's new, make sure that they know what's going on and they
yeah,
feel like they're ready to roll with you. And I wonder if that's happened, like, kind of ahead of time or even if the kids are excited for their friends to be there and they'll
yeah.
explain
And
it and
there
roll
were
out like
there
that.
were a couple folks that had, like, bike bus shirts on from their
Nice.
school that we went to, and so from what I understand, Coach Balto does it at a couple locations throughout the city. So, the one that I was at, he does on Fridays, but they, like,
Mm,
do unofficial ones the other days of the week, and so the
nice.
parents just, like, self-organize those, which is pretty cool.
That's my goal, right? It has to be supported by someone at the school, and I only have one child who attends one school,
Right.
and so, like, finding those advocates within those little micro communities of the elementary schools is what's gonna keep everything sustainable, but so far, everybody has been super eager, and it's a bit of like a "heck yes" moment, and that's the reception I've gotten so far.
It's awesome because you get that success, and then you can kind
Yeah,
of snowball affect it to other
yeah,
schools.
that's my hope.
That is so
That's my plan.
exciting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I used to ride my bike to school, and it was kind of a bike bus. There was like 10 of us in the neighborhood who
yeah.
would all just go together.
Yeah. That's the thing is there's just been so much fragmentation, I think because of school choice,
Mm,
breaking up, like, you don't go by default to your neighborhood school, you might go to a charter school, you might go to a specialty school, but that's where that closeness to your school is lost. But at the same time, there's going to be a group of people close enough to the school that where it's like, "Can we swap out your drop off, your car drop off for a bike drop off 1 day a week?"
yeah.
Actually just, like, get the kids moving, get fewer cars in the drop off line,
Yeah,
we
it's a
can
win for everybody. And
yeah,
like riding your bikes makes you happy. Riding your bike makes kids happy. It's a great way
yeah,
to just get your body moving a little bit. And also, I had this conversation on the airplane on the way here about riding long distances. And this woman next to me was flabbergasted that I could ride 25 miles. And I think if you're not a cyclist, you don't look at distances the same way as somebody who
yeah.
rides bikes does. And like kids are easily capable of riding 2 or 3 miles, like
Oh, yeah.
young kids, and it goes by incredibly fast. It's so much more
Yeah.
efficient than walking. So I'm a
Yes.
fan.
And her shock, I don't think is unusual to where even when I've been organizing these little rides in Kansas City, it's a bit of, like, partially to just prove to the parents that, yeah, 1 mile like, you can walk it in 20 minutes if you're not even trying,
Right.
and so then on a bike, it just becomes boop, and so then, "Oh, that really was fast. What is near me? What could we be doing this on instead?" And just that I mean, like, Missouri famously is the show me state, and so it's that showing that says, hey, you can do this and your kid can too. Like, give your kid that autonomy. There's an article that came out in the Atlantic over the summer that
Yes.
was about how, like, kids, specifically kids, aren't riding their bikes anymore. And I think there's even been a second article about how what kids need to battle the anxiety that we're starting to see in young kids is more autonomy. How, as a parent, can you provide these things? That to me is one of the solutions, is to say, like, here's, point A to B. It feels really long if you're in a car, if that's all you've ever done. But yeah, actually, your kid can be on a bike and make it this far on their own. So, like, for you, how can you make it doable for you?
That's so
So,
funny that you brought those two things up together because I read both of those this summer. The second one was like an excerpt from this book, The Anxious Generation.
oh,
Um,
okay.
so
Nice.
my friend Krista in Arkansas was telling about the autonomy thing. So one thing she was trying was letting her kids ride to bike camp by themselves.
Yeah,
And she said it was really scary. And the first day she actually like went out and kind of hid along the route just to make
sure.
sure.
Yeah,
But she said like her kid, like it was amazing once she gave her kids the autonomy to do it. Like they really proved her right, and they had a communication device. And I don't know, it's cool to see.
it is. And I mean, obviously, I am a parent and I very much empathize with this position that parents have been put in, which is that we understand you have to have autonomy, but we also know the world we live in. And so, what is this like magical zone
Yeah,
that comfort zone, like not a get out of your comfort zone, but a literal how can I make this work zone that is really hard to find, and our built environment and our society make that a pretty thin line.
yeah,
So I'm really excited that she was able to figure something out, and I that's again like kind of what I think we can start encouraging, and encouraging that bigger community aspect of it, to where, like, part of what I want to do with the bike bus is say it's like, as long as you're comfortable with me, like, your kid can ride with me.
yeah,
Like, I will watch out whoever is under my care, there's probably a limit to what I can do safely, but, then it just becomes a matter of adding parents, and how do we make that all work? So,
oh, I'm
I
so
feel
excited
like
for you.
I feel like I undersold my summer now that we've had such a good discussion. That's been a lot of what I've kind of been laying the groundwork for as the summer progressed, was to start figuring out how to kick these all off. So,
When does that kick off for you? Are you starting it soon?
starting it just kind of at various schools to figure out how to get the word out, honestly. So,
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
very
if you're listening to
local
this and you're in the Kansas
initiative.
City area, you can reach out to Ellen at allbodiesonbikes.com. Is that right?
It's definitely a way to get a hold of me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's your email address, right? Ellen at allbodiesonbikes.com. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't completely sure what you were validating there. I was like, "You gave me the
I know.
address."
I set it up.
I'm sure it's just my name,
I'm sure it is
because
too.
my first name, I should say,
Yeah.
because my last name, I try as much as I can to get my last name out of emails because it's a lot of letters.
That's so funny. Can I
Yeah.
tell you a funny story about that? I will be a sponsored athlete by Shredley again next year. And for one of the pieces, she wanted my signature. And I have gotten so lazy with my signature over the last 30 years. And so I spent like probably 2 hours the other day just like working on my signature. And my last name has a lot of letters too. And I hate a cursive K. It like
Oh,
doesn't work.
funny.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like,
It has a lot of reverses
yeah.
that the other letters don't have to deal with. You're right.
Yeah. So
My
I can
name
relate to having a lot of letters.
Oh, yeah. My whole last name ties, fun fact, for the longest one-syllable word in the English language, which is screeched, has
Oh,
9 letters, but 1 syllable, and my last name, because of that, the superfluous E at the end of it, 9 letters, 1 syllable,
dang. Schwartz, right?
and
Schwartzy or Schwartz?
just Schwartz, 1
Schwartz.
syllable.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
pretty
look at me.
cool.
But, yeah, my signature over the years just, merged into, like, a bunch of up and down squiggles, because
Same.
Ellen is actually a super fun name to write in cursive.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. I
A
love
lot of
a
Lincoln.
cursive L.
So now that they know how to forge our signatures, um, movie, video,
Oh,
film.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So All Bodies on Bikes 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's not the name of it.
I wouldn't like this is maybe to a testament to how silly and fun loving you are, is I was sitting here like, maybe it is. Maybe it's got electric bikes at like front and center.
I'm trying to think if I ever ride an e-bike in the film. I don't think I'm on an e-bike at all during the
Okay.
film. Maybe a little bit of cargo bike, but I don't think so. No, the working title right now is Road to Joy. I don't know if that'll continue to be the title, but essentially, I feel like we talked about this back when we talked about the Five Borough Tour, but we have had a film crew with us for a lot of the summer. So,
I think you're
um,
right. I think that we did talk about it, but not we didn't I think that was the first thing that you'd filmed. So
yeah.
much more
So
to go on.
the filmmaker followed along with us in New York, and then his team came down to Arkansas and filmed a bike packing trip, which was really fun because Kaylee came to town for that, and it actually kind of reignited my love for bike packing because I used to do it all
Oh,
the time, and then I just really haven't done it since I moved to Arkansas. But since that trip, I've gone twice more this summer, so I like feel like I got
smart.
my fill of sleeping outside this summer, which was one of my goals. So anyway, filmed in Arkansas, and then just a couple weeks ago, we wrapped up filming in Portland. There was a
Nice.
big show called Made, and it's like a handmade bike show. We did a group ride, and the film crew came out and filmed there. I saw the first 7 minutes of it, or at least like a rough cut,
Hmm.
and I didn't know where the story was going to go because it's like the first film told such a good story that it
Yeah.
was like, how do we not just repeat this for the second one? But he's done a beautiful job of kind of integrating in the growth of All Bodies on Bikes. And I think the podcast actually does make an appearance in the film, which is pretty fun.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Yeah.
very excited.
So that'll come out at some point this fall or winter.
Okay.
And the plan for that as of now is to do a very limited release. So basically we can tour with it. Kaylee and I can like go on trips with the film
Nice.
and screen the film, maybe make it a fundraiser for All Bodies on Bikes, give talks, whatever that might be. But then my book is also coming out this spring.
Yay.
Yeah, I finished writing it. We just got the final illustrations last week, starting
Yes.
to get the page layouts put together, and I'm really, really, really excited for this book.
You did share the cover art for the
Yes,
book. It looks so sweet.
I'm so excited about it. So the book is called Ragtag Best Friends Bicycle Club,
Yes.
and we can do a whole episode on this, maybe where we interview the illustrator and the publisher too, and not
Okay.
just the author. Me.
I mean, the author typically is who you talk to.
That's
So
true. That's
we
true.
have an exclusive, what can I say?
Yeah.
Exclusive interview with children's book author Marley Blonsky.
Oh my gosh. I read the story out loud the other day,
Uh-huh.
just to myself to make sure like it flowed right.
Yeah.
And the story is so sweet and so cute. And I think something that'll resonate with people of all ages. Like kids will get it, but I think adults, especially anybody who's ever
Mhm.
felt left out, I think
Mhm.
will really appreciate it as well.
I mean, I contest that most children's books work on both children and adult levels.
And that was my hope, like, because
Yeah.
when you like read a children's book and you're just like, oh, I don't want to read this one again. Like, no,
Yes,
Remy,
you
we're not
really
reading
do.
this one again.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope this is one that kids reach for and the parents are like, okay, that sounds great. And then let's go for a ride.
Yeah. For us, the book that we hate is JJ's The Jet Plane. It's
Oh,
terrible. Just
oh,
FYI.
okay.
So,
So don't buy that for
um,
nieces and nephews.
don't don't do it. And it's like it's the book that kept coming back. We kept thinking we'd hidden it and that we donated it, and it just never actually was. But there are other books that are delightful that we're like so happy to read over and over again. And I would bet that this one's gonna fall into that category.
Yeah. Sorry if you heard a dog barking.
Who's your dog friend?
My dog friend's name is Pepper, and at the place I'm staying in Portland, she's 2, and she is like my best buddy. Every time I come home from work, she's just like tail wagging, so excited to see me. It makes me feel really good.
Well,
Yeah.
that's very wonderful. So yeah, film coming out, book coming out, and lots
Moving to Portland,
moving to Portland.
dating like always.
We could have a separate podcast about that if you want.
We should. Have you ever heard the podcast "Why Won't You Date Me" by Nicole Byer?
No.
Oh my god, I need to steal her idea and do that because
Hilarious.
that's my life.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
Sounds good. I'm looking through my
Writing these
list. I made it. I'm going to show my list to the camera. This my end of summer.
is it crossed off? Oh,
No,
but
I
did we
forgot
make it
to.
through?
I'm going to cross off things now. So joys.
Okay.
Oh, my first one. We didn't talk about watermelon juice. So I discovered this summer that
Mhm.
watermelon juice is one of my favorite things in the world.
Okay.
Trader
But
Joe's has it for like $2, and it's literally just watermelon juice, and it hydrates so well.
so like the way that you would go get fresh squeezed orange juice, you can get fresh squeezed watermelon juice?
At Trader Joe's.
That does sound really refreshing. which I actually don't love watermelon, but it's a texture thing.
Oh, interesting.
So
So you might like watermelon juice.
I might, yeah.
Yeah.
It also sounds like a aguas frescas
It's
sort of
very
thing.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what else on my list? I said bike packing again. We talked about bike packing, right?
Yep, we did.
Okay. I said driving, which is funny that I put that under the joys of my summer.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed my road trips this year. I actually stayed with a bunch of friends. So normally when I'm on a road trip, like I don't want to inconvenience people, like by just
Hmm.
staying for one night. And this time I was like, no, I'm gonna say yes. And so I stayed with a couple of different folks, and it was so lovely to like reconnect with lots of friends all over the country. So that was
Yes.
fun.
That's a bit
Um,
I think that's my preferred way to travel. It's one of the ways that we wind up planning our trips is like, who can we see? Who can we go to?
yeah,
And I mean, we are really blessed to have friends who have that kind of open door, let us know policy. But we joked that our Europe trip, because it was so last minute, but because we have enough contacts and friends over there, I joked that it was my tour de France.
that's so fun.
Thanks.
Oh my god. No, I think after the summer, that is gonna be my preferred way to travel as well because,
Yeah,
if your friends are opening their house to you, you're not imposing.
you're not
Yeah,
at
and I
all.
love when people stay with me, so I don't know why I felt like such a burden, but it's just how
It's
my brain works.
100% one of the juxtapositions that I don't understand, but also do myself.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to say, I'm going to be in Kansas City at this hotel, and I'd be like, what the fuck? I have a spare room for you. But then similarly, when I am planning a trip, it's like, oh, maybe I won't ask.
Right, it's so silly.
Even though I would be thrilled if anybody said they would love to stay with me.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, listeners.
Okay, I have 5 more things, and I think we talked about all of them, so you can just say yes or no. Sleeping in tent,
Yes.
France,
Yes.
e-bikes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
I
there
think we talked
anything
about
more
that.
than, like, going up the because it helped you have a nice time in France?
They're just awesome. I love them.
I do too.
That's all.
That's all I ride anymore. People keep asking, it's like, "Oh my gosh, you bike around in the hot and the this," and it's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." Like, I
Yeah,
have a great
I'm
time.
I'm excited for my cargo bike to get to Oregon because I've
For
been
sure.
riding my gravel bike as my, like, daily commuter, and while it's
Okay.
really cozy comfy, I'm ready for, like, more upright,
Mhm.
electric cargo. Do you know how hard grocery shopping is with one pannier when you have ADHD and no plan?
I do, in fact, because I did that in London a couple times. I bought a full how you can buy the basil that's like, this big, 1 inch by 2 inch little carton of it,
Yeah,
or you can buy the whole plant, and the
yeah,
cost difference is usually just a couple bucks. Yeah, well, that made it home in a pannier.
nice. I love
Along
it.
with who knows what I'll try to dig up the picture, but it's just like, "Oh, right.
It's
Uh,
honestly been really fun to, like, ride around town as a commuter again with a pannier.
yeah,
It, like, takes me back to my early days of getting into biking, and I don't have my car in Portland right now, and so, like, whenever I go anywhere, whether it's on a date or I went to a comedy show the other night, I'm riding my bike or taking the bus, and it really just takes me back to an earlier phase of my life, and
sure."
it's fun.
It is, and it's nice.
Yeah,
It's
it
I don't
it
know, I don't like driving at all, but part of it is because, like, that's the only thing I can do when is drive the
exactly.
car.
Yep.
You can like, I know that's also where people listen to a lot of podcasts, probably a lot of you in your car now, thank you very much. Not what I default to, and so it makes me like, I get sometimes a little bit too angry about how much, like, I could be riding my bike, which is just fun on its own, or, like, if I'm taking the bus, like, I can be reading my ebook, or I can be working on something, or looking around, right? You can just see the city. If you're not driving, you can look instead of watching to make sure you don't break rules and hit people.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, it's been a really good way to look at buildings and apartments because I like ride by and I'm like,
Mm,
oh, they have a for rent sign. I'm going to call
there
right
you go.
now. And I
Perfect.
think I might have already found a place to live. But anyway, that's not important.
Knock on wood. I
Okay.
will say we should have just like a cargo bike love fest, because that was where I borrowed a cargo bike in Malmo, and it was one of like the big, not front bucket like you have, but it's like the like tricycle
Oh,
front
yeah, yeah.
bucket.
Did you like that style?
And I did. And it hauls a lot too. Like, I was riding in the front, or my husband with our kid was riding in the front, or like my best friend with my kid. Like,
Oh my God. So fun.
it became truly a car replacement, and because Malmo is so bike friendly, that's usually the fastest way to get around, and so it was just delightful, and
That's
it's so
so fun.
steady. There was this one moment, so Malmo's on the sea, My bestie and my kid and I had just gone to the shore and we jumped in the water and it was sunshiny and we'd bought ice cream and we're like on this bike path along the sea, tootling back to her house. And I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So if I think of the summer of 2025, I'm focusing on that moment.
That seems so delightful. I'm happy that you got to have that.
I am too. I'm really glad that we went,
Yeah.
but it does make me want to get a cargo bike like that.
I have two more things. Moving to Portland. We've already talked about that.
Definitely.
And then the last one, I don't think we talked about it, dating. I've had so much fun dating this summer.
Yay!
Yeah,
All over in
all
one
over.
like, one
Yeah,
city? All the
all
cities?
the cities. I find it's just like such a fun way to get to know people. And like I'm always forthcoming of like, hey, I'm traveling through, or I'm moving
Got it.
here, or I'm leaving here. But like I don't know. I'm not looking to get married. I'm just want like somebody to enjoy a meal with, and it's working amazingly well. It's been super super fun, which
I
I
love
don't
it.
think most people in 2025 say they like dating, but
No.
I think everybody's too serious about it. Like just go have a meal. Like if you enjoy each other's company, do it again. Do it again. Oh wait, now I'm gonna touch your body. Because that feels good. I don't know. I think we overcomplicate things.
I think that's true. I think there's a lot of stress that's put on relationships most of the time
Oh yeah.
that once you can remember that it's just about 2 people enjoying, yeah, company, time, other things,
Yeah, exactly.
it does simplify it.
Although you probably shouldn't take dating advice from me because I've been single for like 5 years now.
It means that you have astronomically more experience dating than I do.
I've actually thought about writing a book about dating,
I think you
calling it
should.
like a decade on the apps because I have been on the apps for more than a decade.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
have some really good advice and stories.
I was gonna say, I think I would absolutely read the stories because that to me just feels like those are just gonna be good stories, like good just like human interest stories.
Yeah.
I
I
will say I understand now it's like if you're trying to say it's advice that'll get you a full-time partner, then no.
But
But
if you want
if
to have
it's
a good
just
time,
yeah, that's I think maybe that's what you were trying to say this whole time and it's just now like clicked into place for me is like I think dating gets such a bad rap because so many people are trying to find the only end goal of long-term partner,
yeah.
long-term partner, long-term partner versus dating.
Yeah. And like
Enjoy dating.
yes, I would love to find a long-term partner, but like you at least in my experience, you cannot make that your sole focus.
Yeah,
Like you've got to enjoy each other's company before you go down that road.
I would very much agree with that. Please enjoy who you're sleeping with.
Oh, please. Oh my god.
I
I
will
read so
say
many horror stories on Threads.
I believe it.
I
And
mean,
part of me
I will also
reads
say I
them.
haven't slept with somebody in like over a year.
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
That's a level of discipline that I maybe wouldn't have.
I've just realized that like bad sex is worse than no sex. Like I know how to
Okay,
get myself off,
fair enough.
and I'd rather do that than like put up with somebody who's like not gonna like touch me
There's
in a
a
way that I enjoy.
I was gonna say there's a fair amount of learning in those early stages too,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't wanna teach, you want to enjoy.
Mhm.
Not that there can't be mutual enjoyment in teaching, but
This is all bodies on bikes after dark. I don't know if this is gonna make it to the podcast or not. Maybe
putting the
this will be
bodies
a special
discussion and
episode for our membership only.
ooh, that would be good.
Which we should talk about that. We
Actually,
haven't talked about that in a long time.
I was gonna say we should talk about that because I'm gonna take a lot of the podcasty stuff over to the Discord to say what's going on, what is the word on the digital streets, so to speak, or even just what questions do you have? Or, hey, we know that this guest will be coming on, and what questions would you ask them? And bringing the voice of All Bodies on Bikes audience into this podcast. As much as we've established that Marley and I are super duper good at chatting with each other, we want to make sure that it's something that you like listening to, that you're getting value from. And so we have a free Discord server where people are interacting and chatting, and local groups are getting together.
Yeah. I was just looking at our website to remind myself of the like membership tiers. And
Yes.
so we have a $5 a month or $50 a year saves you 2 months of membership. So that's our cruiser membership. We have our Trailblazer membership, which is $10 a month or $100 a year and gets you a couple more benefits. And then we have our Pace Setter membership, which is $25 a month, $250 a year, which gets you even more benefits. We also have a free level, which basically gets you access to our online resources, which we are busy building out more of those resources right now. But that's a huge way to support All Bodies on Bikes. This podcast is an arm of All Bodies on Bikes, which is a 501c3 nonprofit supported by your donations. Folks have asked us, like, hey, can you do a Patreon? This is our version of the Patreon.
Deal.
Just go to allbodiesonbikes.com and you'll see all the details there.
Ba, 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 ba.
To wrap up the episode, Ellen, what are 2 things you are looking forward to in the fall?
I'm absolutely looking forward to setting up the bike buses. And I am very much looking forward to the cooler weather and getting cozy. I want to really like hoogie up my living room this year. I've not done a lot of like cozy-fying, so that is high on my list.
I love that.
What about you?
I'm very, very excited to move to Portland. The second half of my gravel season is starting, which is great because I haven't ridden gravel in like 2 months. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm not switching. It's fine.
I'm also looking forward to more regular podcast episodes and building our community. So it's going to be great. Thanks for chit-chatting with me.
Thanks for chatting with me. Bye.
Bye.